sunset is shining brightly as it goes down behind the mountains. Atticus Seppington will go with an onside, and it is loose, and the Ducks look to have it. Expect the unexpected whenever you come to Eugene, and they do.
I mean, just an outstanding job by Dan Lanning. I told you, he will not allow Wisconsin to come into Eugene and sneak up on him, and so he beats them to the punch. And an onside kick executed perfectly by the Oregon Ducks.
Dante Moore, young man out of Martin Luther King in Detroit City. Out of the shotgun. Quick handoff to Noah Whittington. He takes it inside the 40 to the 36-yard line. And then he migrated right back to Oregon where he really wanted to come in the first place. Set up a screen to Sadiq, the tight end. It falls incomplete. Just under 50% on third down conversions. 5th in the Big Ten. Whittington remains the sub back. And he'll take it on a stretch play. And he is going to be a couple of yards shy. Mason Posa. Wisconsin brings 4. He's going to throw it. He's in trouble, and he's down. And Wisconsin with an answer. Mason Reiger, number 22, comes through.
That he can hopefully get something done for this team out here as they try and end this skid today.
How about the adaptation from our sideline reporter after that onside? Had to change Dave Iacobello, number 25, in the backfield, out of a pistol set. And he'll take it right up the gut. Not much room at all. He was with Lanning when they were on Nick Saban's staff at Alabama. That pass is tipped and incomplete. Sean West will punt it away. Gary Bryant is back deep. He awaits at his 10. Beautiful spiraling punt. Fair catch is made at the 17-yard line. Through the Harrington era, the Chip Kelly era, Mark Helfrich, our colleague, played for a national title in 14. And here they are on the doorstep again. Noah Whittington ahead.
It was offside there.
Offside.
Yep.
Defense, number 17,
Yep.
lined up in a neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Jason Nickleby is our white hat referee tonight. Out of the shotgun, quick curl, caught by Gary Bryant, the USC transfer, senior out of Riverside, California. And
The 2nd and 1 is very dangerous for this Wisconsin defense. They have to be aware of the big play action and shot downfield.
Whittington surges ahead for 2 and a first down. Posa in there to make the stop along with Darrell Peterson. Jordon Davison is in the backfield now. Dante trying to step up. Nice spin move to get out of trouble. And he finds Davison out of the backfield on the check down and gets it up to the 32-yard line. Mike Tressel, if the name sounds familiar, it should. The defensive coordinator for Wisconsin, still confident that his team can bring it tonight. Make this game close. Davison, not much. Good recognition by Posa again. I got to tell you, Devin, this kid's everywhere. Dante juggled it a bit. Again, backside pressure. He did not feel it, and now we get a late flag. Sebastian Cheeks may have thrown him down with too much purpose.
Personal foul, face mask, offense, number 76. That penalty is declined.
Yep.
4th down.
Sometimes you do see that takedown being a bit difficult as Ferguson Reynolds punts it away, end over end. It's a bit of an Oregon bounce. Was it touched? Did Wisconsin touch it? Ducks think they did. I'm not sure they did. Sort of looked like it went through his legs or bounced closely.
The ruling on the field is that the ball was illegally touched at the 39-yard line.
They're without Darian Dupree. They're without a lot of guys in every position, really. And Atuka gets it out for a healthy gain, a pickup of 8 on first down.
You have to remember, at Oregon, the noise is always a factor, so communication is paramount for Wisconsin.
Bootleg action. And the pass is cradled by Lance Mason, the tight end.
Yeah, because
ruling
he
on the field
knows.
was a catch for first down.
Yeah.
That ruling is under further review.
Tim, the reason he's rolling his eyes is because he had him early.
Yeah, he
right?
did.
He had it early. He got a little greedy. He wanted to get more, and he tries to get it to him late, and he's not able to make the throw in enough time.
After review, it is an incomplete pass. The ball will be placed at the 47-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 2, Wisconsin.
Atuka. I think they're going to mark him about a half-yard short. Fumble. It's on the ground, but I think Atuka got on top of it. It won't matter, though, because on 4th and inches, they turn it over on downs.
They just have to clean up some of the operations.
And now their defense once again on trial. Benson on a reverse. Well diagnosed by Wisconsin defensively. Aaron Witt, 59, chasing that one down. How about that alignment? Out to Benson, and again, Wisconsin all over it. And ruled incomplete. And I'm telling you, Aaron Witt is all over the place. They've gotten to Moore a couple of times. That pump fake didn't fool Wisconsin.
And so that could be an issue.
That was some hit by Austin Brown. Got flags down pre-snap.
Illegal snap.
Oh.
Kicking team, number 43. 5-yard penalty. 4th
Got to
down.
make sure that everybody's in place. Luke Basso, the long snapper. That's why the outlook is still pretty good. That's just a perfect punt, isn't it? Oh, yeah. And down at the 1. James Ferguson Reynolds take a bow. And now Hunter Simmons starts from his back patio, and I think that was close to a safety.
That elbow might have been down on the goal line.
I think it may have been.
Ruling on the field was that the runner was down at the 1-yard line. That play is under further review. After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld.
Gideon Atuka is in the backfield, out of the shotgun, and he bursts free past the 5, up to about the 7 or 8 yard line. Play clock winding down. Simmons rolls away from the pressure. Lets it fly, and it's caught. Vinny Anthony.
For a first down.
We have not called Kekahuna's name. Tretch is really their go-to receiver. They go 4 wide now with Atuka in the backfield. And I'm impressed with the way Gideon Atuka runs. Out of the I formation, Atuka dots the I. He's got another 5. That's a first down at the 31. Mateo Uyangalale made the tackle. Look at that total yards to this point. Who would have thought that? This one's incomplete, intended for Anthony again. Dylan Jones is out for the year. Their first running back gone for the rest of the season. Yakameli ahead to the 36, maybe the 37-yard line. Simmons rolls left. That pass may be picked. Incomplete is the call. Here's Sean West to boot it away. Gary Bryant has to back up. Bobbles in a moment. Regains equilibrium and gets it ahead past the 15 to about the 17 before being taken down. 1st and 10. Whittington. Noah Whittington, not much. He didn't pick up any yards on that play. 2nd down and 10. And that pass goes incomplete. Corian Moore was trying to reel it in, but could not. These Oregon wide receivers have not been able to get the separation that you would have anticipated against this very thin defensive back core for Wisconsin. As I say it, there's your completion. Jeremiah McClellan and Dylan Gabriel, and now this guy, Dante Moore, he might be probably somewhere in between those two guys from a personality standpoint.
There for the TFL.
2nd down and 12. Moore setting up a screen, and it's tipped into the air, and that ends that play that was set up, and guess who did it? Mason Posa again. to make that ball go awry. 3rd and 12. Moore zips it incomplete. Throw is a bit too high for Decorian Moore. Should get it off around the 27. Jaden Ballard is back deep, and we've got markers down pre-snap. Looks like this is a false start.
Full start, kicking team, number 0, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
One big play for Wisconsin, whether it's special teams or on offense, and they can get the lead here. Ballard with the fair catch. This pass is way over the head of Grant Steck. Gideon Atuka is in the backfield as we open the second quarter. 2nd down and 10. And a little pre-snap movement. The big you're not going to miss this kid. Amari Washington coming through there, number 52. See if he was induced.
Offside. Defense, number 52, unevaded to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty.
Atuka. 1st down. Out to the 37-yard line. Bryce Betcher again. Simmons shouting some instructions, audibilizing. And Atuka, he saw something in that defensive set and took advantage of it. Give Simmons some credit. Jeff Grimes, his offensive coordinator, making the decision to go with him after Danny O'Neal had a nightmarish game in relief of Billy Edwards after he had been hurt. 2nd and 10. Iacovelli gets back all but about 2 yards of that 10. Atuka has the 1st down. Where the ball is.
Wisconsin is challenging the ruling on the field that the runner was down short of the line to gain. We will review the play.
He's not down there. He's not. And he's down there.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is upheld.
Oh my goodness.
The runner was down short of the line to gain. Wisconsin is charged with their 2nd timeout of the half, and they have lost their challenge for the remainder of the game.
Absolutely brutal.
Wow, that's
brutal.
incredible.
Aker is the up back, 34. Aker gets it. Easy 1st down. That's a great memory on your part with Jadeveon Clowney.
I was there.
Yeah. Atuka with a late marker coming down, thrown in an area where holding could be the call.
Holding. Offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty.
1st down and 20. Coming back the other way. They dodged a bullet that time. See if they can find Vinny Anthony again. Number 8, Atuka. He's been the most effective offensive player for Wisconsin. Running into the Bear Alexander.
And that sent the message across this program that, hey, if you aren't performing, you will not start. He's earned his opportunities.
3rd down and 13. Deep for Anthony. Ball hung up in the air just a little, allowing Aaron Flowers to get over and knock it away. Atticus Bertrams will punt it away. And I think we hear some whistles pre-snap.
Delay game. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
They may have wanted that, actually. Could give him a little extra room to work with. Yeah, this is a beautiful high punt. Let's see what happens with it. Oh, look at that coverage. Look at that coverage. An extra 5 yards. Didn't hurt, did it? The welcome back was even better. Out of the shotgun. From the goal line, Davison gets it out to about the 3. After 20 minutes in this game, okay, Wisconsin had 91 yards. Oregon 24. Wisconsin 79 yards rushing, Oregon minus 13. Wisconsin 5 first downs, Oregon 2. Now, think about that. How do you have a close game when you have a 2-5 team that's without much of its skilled personnel? That's how you do it. With defense, with aggression, and with a culture. And Wisconsin still has its culture, even though they're having a losing season. Davison burrows to head to about the 5-yard line. And with all these podcasters out there now that want to say, well, oh, the relationships with high school coaches just isn't there anymore. How much do they really know? Probably not much. Out of the end zone, Moore. This one is caught. It's a first down. Out to the 25. It's Jeremiah McClellan. He's got 2 grabs. And ruling out at the 23-yard line. Still a first down.
You can see that rain coming down, but apparently throwing the ball won't be an issue.
Davison got those short, choppy steps that, by the way, when it's a little wet downstairs, you like that as an offensive coordinator. Catalano coming over to make the stop. Cooper has been all over the place, number 44, along with Mason Posa. 2nd down and 3 after a gain of 7. There they go again. Davison. Well, Will Stein sees something now in the Wisconsin alignment, and they decide to start gouging the ground game under 7 minutes remaining in the half. Moore, that ball is tipped, and I think McClellan may have come up, and now they're going to rule it incomplete. I thought he may have grabbed it. Corey Walker in 92, another guy pressed into duty due to the injuries. Pierre Hill, number 23 now in the game at running back. His first toe. And he's spun down shy of the 45 at the 44. Is there any more enjoyable head coach to visit with in college football before a game than Dan Lanning? There you see the shallow cross to Johnson. Jamari Johnson has a first down and the biggest play of the night so far.
Lalo Ulu.
Ah, you did that well.
He gets a pancake.
First down, Davison. And we got markers down prior to the snap at the line of scrimmage.
Full start. Offense. Not all 11 players became set for the snap. 5-yard penalty.
Well,
first down.
You get your motor running, and Stein knows that when they play fast, when they play quick, they're at their best. First down, 15. There are those quick feet again. Davison down to the 27. This looks a little more like Oregon now. Gain of 11. Agard, Emilio Agard, number 6, making the stop, coming up from cornerback. 2nd down and 4. For the first time, the Badgers defense a little on their heels. Jordon Davison's had a lot to do with it since coming in. There he goes again for a first down. 6 yards that time. Now before this drive, Oregon had 16 yards rush, 16 rushes, minus 16, I should say. On this drive, 40 yards alone. So they have certainly gotten into the positive yardage on the ground on this drive. Dante calling his own number this time. Inside the 20 to the 16. He's had to persevere his whole life. Why not tonight? Davison. As you run out of terrain and you get into that red zone, the yardage a little more difficult to come by. Gary Bryant is in there in the backfield. It's Davison for the first down. To the 9. First and goal. Inside the 5, marker down, so hold everything. It's thrown in the backfield, back around the 15-yard line.
You can see there the rain is picking up.
And the wind is
Offside.
too. Yep.
Defense, number 17, lined up in the neutral zone. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
Yeah, they take the penalty because it remains first down with the ball halfway to the end zone.
In the run game, 5th in the Big Ten, 18th in the country, stopping the run. and they're in a position right now where they have an opportunity to bow their necks and stand strong.
There's a meathead reference if I've ever heard one. You got to bow your neck, son.
That's right.
Jordon Davison, the lone setback. Bring those tight ends in, right? 12, 13 personnel. Bootleg action. Moore's pass is incomplete. Well covered. DeCorian Moore, the intended receiver. Played so big in that Big Ten championship game against Penn State. 4-star recruit coming out of high school. Again, whistles blowing as Catalano darts through there to get a tackle for loss, but hold everything.
Looks like the right guard might have gotten a head start.
Yeah.
Number 74, Dave Iuli.
Encroachment. Offense, number 11. Lined up at the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Second out.
So McClellan,
Yeah.
Jeremiah McClellan lined up offsides. Second and goal. McClellan is safely onside this time.
The safety comes down. You
Yeah.
got more.
Wide. It's Sadiq time. And Sadiq gets it down to the 2. Zach Grace has come in, the extra tight end. Davison. Touchdown. Puts Davison in Oregon's freshman top 5 in rushing touchdowns. That was his 9th of the year. And there have been some incredible freshman running backs in Oregon history. Oregon playing their style of football on that drive.
Yeah, I just want to tell you, Tim, that Oregon offense, I think, was surprised by those freshman starting linebackers.
Yeah.
And they didn't understand their speed and intensity, and they're starting to figure it out now.
Benny Anthony has a lane. And he gets it out to the 33. 1st and 10 with a minute left. One would think Wisconsin would be happy with a 7-point game at the break, and just 2nd and 7. Atuka ahead for about 2 more. Amari Washington the stop and another timeout. 3rd and 5. Oh, that's just another really good, solid run for Atuka. Be interesting to see if they let Simmons throw one. Nope. Atuka. Game plan is to stay close, hang around. Maybe something good happens late, and we can get out of here with a W. Noah Whittington awaits the kick. Oregon will possess the ball to start this game, and after the touchback, they were stymied until that 99-yard drive that Will Stein got going. 1st down from the 25 with Noah Whittington in the backfield. Extra tight end, quick pitch. And Whittington takes off. Big time. I'd say that's running the ball, and I'd say that's running fast. Wouldn't you?
Look at those big fellas down the field running with their talented running back.
I don't know that I've ever seen a 360 spin off a toss sweep. And Whittington had it. Now he goes 10 more yards. Down to the 30. Catalano, 44 with the tackle. One of those freshmen of influence in that first half.
Watch the interior of this offensive line. This is what you call duo, double to the 2nd level. You can see them getting to the linebackers. That's one thing they weren't able to do early in the game, and they're figuring that out. And it started with that 90-yard drive.
Yeah, looks like the Ducks are trying to come out and make a statement in this opening drive. Get their act together. Ends with running the football and running it fast. On the RPO that time, Dante Moore with the keeper. It's ahead for a yard, and that's all. I believe you did. There's the hit.
And
that
again,
brought it.
Number 8, Tosa comes in. He clubs his arm over the face mask of Dante Moore, and a lot of times that helmet will slide down on your nose.
And he's going to have to come and sit for a little while.
Yeah,
Got some playing time. He played at Sheldon High School, same high school as Mr. Herbert. And he's in the game now. spell the injured Dante Moore, who's dealing with a bloody nose. Hill and Davison are the setbacks flanking him. Davison towards the boundary, and again, sideline to sideline, Wisconsin will get there. Looks like this is going to be a free play if he wants it. And he finds his man, DeCorian Moore. Moore is getting Moore down to the 5-yard line. Markers down, though, back at the 35-yard line. I see a little yellow hanky. He knew it, too, right away.
Here's the initial penalty, right? Posa. But then he stops, right? He's a true freshman, right? Hasn't played a lot of ball. You have to remember, hey, you have to continue to play there. I don't think he would have been able to affect that play as much. But a nice job by Brock Thomas. Oh, that might be a late hit by big number 72, Pancha.
Mm-hmm. Would be halfway
Offside.
closer to the field.
Defense, number 8. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is the first down. After the play was over, personal foul. Defense, number 72. Half the distance to the goal.
I think he meant offense. I think he misspoke there.
Right.
After the play was over, personal foul. Offense, number 72. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down and 10.
Fickle's got to be saying to himself, really? You're going to put me through that, too?
The emotional roller coaster just continues.
Oh, my goodness.
For Luke Fickle, but they did make a mistake, and you can see just a little extra, and then another extra there. Too much. A lot of extra.
First down from the 20.
I know you got a young quarterback out, but you got a lot of space out here with one-on-one coverage to the top of your screen.
Brock Thomas to Davison. The stretch play, cuts it back. He is in there. Touchdown.
Right, he gets outside, pancake number 1. That's breakfast. Right now he's in front. Who's next? Give it to me now. Holman, you go down to a touchdown for the Ducks.
Stay out of Alex Harkey's way. Couple of stops at Colorado in 2022 and Texas State after that. Anthony got ahead of steam. That's a pretty good return out to the 36-yard line.
And Wisconsin ran the ball well in the first half, but you have to expect that Oregon is going to have answers for it. As you can see, Simmons moving to the next play here. So they may have to take a shot at some point.
Bootleg action. Looping it. Ball hung up in the air. It's going to be ruled incomplete. Shotgun, Atuka in the backfield. And markers fly again.
Left tackle number 71 got a little antsy, Mallman.
Yep.
Full start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Atuka, well, he has run with authority all night long, and he's got another first down, 18 yards on that carry. I love the fact that he switched hands as he was headed in that direction, too, on that running play. Lost art among many young backs. In traffic, into double coverage. Simmons tried to fit it in there to Lance Mason, but Betcher knocked it away. They're better than almost everybody at keeping them out of the red zone. Not many times the teams cross midfield against this Oregon defense. Jerry Mixon makes the stop after Atuka picks up 3. Third down 7. Simmons making a change.
Gotta hurry.
Yep, used up too much of the clock. They did get a timeout from the sidelines.
Prior to the expiration of the play clock, timeout, Wisconsin.
Simmons, he's resourceful, incomplete. Led his receiver a bit too far. He was going for Jaden Ballard. Remember, the Badgers are scoreless now in 14 consecutive quarters. 14 consecutive quarters. That's a fair catch by Bryant. Thomas remains in at quarterback for the injured Dante Moore. Just came out of the tent. We'll check on him in a bit as Noah Whittington gets out for just a yard. Mason Posa with a stop. There he is. At Sheldon High School, a legacy within the Oregon program, too. Brought Thomas to get a little playing time. Whittington! 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 "70 yards." He had a touchdown all the way.
Further review.
They're going to likely check to see when he stepped out of bounds, if he got close to the sideline.
For the moment, this is Oregon's largest run,
Right,
but
so
I think they may rule him out a little sooner. Right there. Yep.
After review, the runner stepped out of bounds at the 49-yard line. It'll be first down and 10, Oregon at that spot.
Earlier, Noah Whittington's in the backfield. High snap to Thomas. Brock decides to tuck it and slide. Pretty smart move by the young quarterback. Gotta hand it to the majority of this crowd. They've hung in there, clearly waiting for Otis Day and the Knights and shout between the third and fourth quarter. Whittington wrapped up behind the line. There's still a lot of get after it within the Wisconsin Badgers mindset. This Wisconsin defense has sent a message as to where this program is. Thomas, that ball is tipped, and it's Moore on the receiving end. There's an example of when it's going bad. The Badgers had a chance at a pick. Problems with the handle on the high snap, and Thomas is tumbling down. Back at the 43 for our team at this stage of the season. Davison trying to navigate his way, cutting it back up on what looked to be a stretch play early, and then he cut it back. He gets it to the 40-yard line of Wisconsin. Third down, 17. Thomas, shallow cross to Detorian Moore. Spun down at the 38-yard line. Ferguson Reynolds to boot it away. End over end, fair catch. At the 4, a 34-yard boot. Somehow they've got to find their way into the scoring column. It's been 14 quarters and counting. Atuka, who's been their best option all night offensively. Another healthy gain on first down. Betcher with another tackle. Extra tight ends and Atuka. Nothing doing. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. It's a fired up defense now. Devin Jackson, the linebacker, junior out of Omaha, Nebraska, leading the charge. Ball's on the ground, recovered by Wisconsin. A lot of activity there, and Betcher knocked it free. Sean West back in to boot it away. They need some distance. That's why he's in there. Gary Bryant and single safety. Good punt. Backs him up to the 40. And he's up to his 47 before being tackled by a bevy of Badgers. 55-yard boot, 6-yard return. Quick pitch towards the field to Whittington. And some good defensive reaction from Ricardo Hallman, number 2. Whittington again. And then headed towards the boundary. Not much after that hit. And the time spent in that tent. That pass is incomplete.
That's going to be a pass interference.
Oregon wanted a pass interference, and they're going to get it. Jamari Johnson was the intended receiver.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the defense. Pass interference. Defense, number 9. That penalty is declined. Personal foul. Roughing the passer with targeting. Defense, number 17. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down. The targeting portion of this foul is under further review.
Yeah, Daryl Peterson, and this is really bad news for Wisconsin. They'll lose him for a half next week.
Yeah, it's clear.
Freshman as
After
we speak.
review, number 17 committed a personal foul, roughing the passer with targeting. Number 17 is disqualified for the remainder of the ball game.
Jordon Davison back in. He's made a lot of things happen. He and Hill in there together. This is Hill. Four-star kid out of Centralia, Illinois. Oh, give me some dancing bears. Give me some ducks. We open the fourth quarter. Jordon Davison. Jordon Davison down to the 1. Mason Posa runs him down. From the 1. Out of the eye. Davison dots it. Play fake. Wide open, and look who caught it. And it was almost dropped. And give me a little something afterwards, will you?
You can see he's a big fella.
That's Janoris Wilson, the offensive lineman who changed from 78 to 35 on special teams. His moment to shout out loud.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he had a little something for us once he got to pay dirt.
See, he has to let us know that he's changing to 35.
We're all good. Janoris was 35, now he's 78 again.
There you go.
And that jersey is not tapered.
Nope.
Anthony with the return. And the leather popping in real time. Here's the setback. He goes in motion now on first down. Blitz coming. Pass knocked away, incomplete. Bryce Betcher, who's been fantastic, especially in the third quarter. 20 carries, 86 yards for Atuka. That's a healthy 86 against this defense. Play fake. Looping it long on a go route, incomplete for Chris Brooks. And a marker down, so they will get help.
Pass interference. Defense, number 14. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And you're going to be able to see he's in good position. He's running, but then he starts to get hands-on.
Well, Simmons was 1 for 13 for 12 yards before that bailout. They got the first down. And here is Kekahuna, who's one of the playmakers. Simmons, the transfer out of Southern Illinois. Looking at a 2nd and 1. Gonna go for the gusto. Uh-oh. Pressure off the backside. Ball was deflected. I think they're gonna rule it a forward pass and incomplete.
Number 5, Theron Johnson comes off the edge there and gets to that arm. Usually it's the defensive linemen that are taught, get to the arm of the quarterback, but how about a cornerback doing a perfect job of it? That's teach shape on how to get it done.
Ball is at the 47-yard line.
Tim, they called that a fumble,
They
which
did.
I think
they
it
moved
is.
the chains.
And recover for how about stumbling forward?
Yeah, I'm amazed at that. It was officially a sack fumble, recovery by the offense for first down, and Bortolotti has one go right through his hands, and it's 3rd down and 11. They need the impossible here. 3rd and 11. Simmons, out pattern, caught, well short of the necessary yardage to Lance Mason. That pass, cradled, caught, inside the 40 at the 39 by Kekahuna.
Do a nice job of kind of sneaking up behind and getting to that curl route, sitting down in the middle of that zone, and a nice completion.
Going quickly, underneath to Atuka. Gideon gets it to about the 33-yard line. A flag down.
You're going to get a hold on Riley Maulman. He completely mauled big number 44.
Holding. Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And Molman is one of the veterans of that offensive front. Kahuna again. Gets it back to the 42-yard line of Oregon. Second down and 14.
They really love what they have gotten from him, transferring from Ole Miss.
Simmons looked to be a designed quarterback keeper.
He called defenses he shouldn't have called, and they got burned by a quarterback draw. That time he calls a defense for second and long.
Simmons under duress, underthrown but caught. It's Hilton, Eugene Hilton, and he doesn't get in. He stopped at about the 1-yard line, maybe the foot mark.
That hand is down. That doesn't put him down, and everything else looks like on the body. I think that if they took a look, he would be in. It looks like he scores based on this, because that left elbow is not down.
No, and the shoulder's not either.
Right, not until the body crosses the goal line.
Yeah, the one thing you have to know, though, Oregon does not do well inside the 5. 5 of the 9 touchdowns they've given up inside the 5, and it's a fumble.
Fumbled the snap. Getting in Tuca is the setback. Oh, beautiful play fake. They go to Mason for the touchdown. Lance Mason, the senior from Rockwall, Texas. And for the first time in 15 quarters, that man gets to raise the number 1 after a touchdown play.
He's going to sneak the tight end in the flat off of a naked bootleg, and he's in the end zone for a score for the first time in 14 quarters.
By the way, that, my friend,
It's a naked duck.
that's a naked duck.
What?
Yeah.
Put some clothes on.
Well, it's a good thing we're on cable tonight, because if we were on Fox over the air, we'd have to be making all kinds of apologies. First down, Oregon. Thomas remains in at quarterback for the injured Dante Moore. There will be some speculation, I'm sure, after this game about the severity of Dante Moore's injury when he left the game. My guess, and again, it's just a guess. I don't play a doctor, not even on TV, but my guess is the game being well in hand, the way that it was, why not give this young man the opportunity in a game like this? Jordon Davison has gotten yardage in bunches. Another problem with the snap. Davison does get it late, and he takes off again. As I mentioned, he gets them in bunches, and that's another example of it. Austin Brown with the tackle. Well, 15 carries, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns for Davison. Had a big game, 4 carries, a career-high 100 yards at Rutgers, picking up where he left off. Also played well in the loss to Indiana.
Working hard and earning their opportunity, you just got to love that, because that is not what you see in college football in 2025.
Well, this drive is all about pounding the rock and letting the clock go tick, 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 tick. As Whittington goes right up the gut for another 8 yards.
Thieneman in the back end and different things like that to help your offense continue to, or your defense and your offense to continue to move forward. But he is relying on the recruiting to make his team really good.
Thomas on his own. A nice long power drive on the ground to get them to those beautiful homes, beautiful fraternity houses in and around Eugene, Oregon. Davison, another 8 as they pound the rock. Austin Brown has to come up from safety again and make the stop.
I think he's done a really nice job of proving that he can be trusted if Dante Moore is not able to go.
When he's had to throw it, he's thrown it well.
Yeah.
Davison burrows ahead. Late flag comes in at the 31-yard line. You know, you think back with
Holding, offense, number 9, 10-yard penalty, second down.
in 2014, they would have competed really well against Ohio State when Urban got his national title. You can make a case, as Thomas keeps it, stays in bounds. You can make a case that this is the best program over the last, going even back to Rich Brooks's days. All right.
You want to have opportunities to continue to improve, and I think that's what you see with this Oregon football team. Today, they prove how tough they are in the run game.
Thomas showing his resourcefulness, but a great tackle in space by Ben Barton. Shoestring variety. Ferguson Reynolds to get it off. Uh-oh, a fake, and the marker's down. And it is taken in for the touchdown, Roger Salamanca. But hold everything.
Holding, kicking team, number 10. 10-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, that spoiled a lot of fun for the fans here and for the Oregon sidelines.
Uyunglele right there. Let's take a look.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta move your feet, big fella.
Yeah.
I trust this will probably be a punt. But nothing good happens on a re-kick. I can tell you that.
That was Bortolotti, by the way, 43, the running back on special teams, that sort of threw his body back after he was being held. Another penalty flag down after a 41-yard boot this time.
Illegal formation. Defense covering the snapper. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is 1st down, Wisconsin.
Let's see if Hunter Simmons can build on that last successful drive. He's going to wing it. Oh, boy. It is intercepted. Dalen Austin. It hit him in the chest. It popped out, and he recovered it again.
Dalen Austin with the great hand-eye coordination to get the pick.
The result of the play is an interception. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Wisconsin, number 10. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
Give a lot of credit to the Badgers for getting a great deal done on the ground themselves, particularly in the first half. Now it's time to get into victory formation and call it a night. They remain undefeated.
With a true freshman quarterback.
And let me tell you, that was good for the Big 12. Here's why. BYU, if they can stay undefeated, you figure one team gets into the Big 12 championship game with no losses.
Right, it was a scary kind of moment going out with so much blood, and he looks happy and well.
And I want to compliment you and what you did for him and his candor. Our friends at CBS even gave you a shout out during that game when he talked about what you had done for him.
You love to see Dan Lanning say who he is and live it, be it.